What is going on, folks? We are back from our little vacation that we took. It is Friday night, 7:30. Y'all know what that means. It's time for the Panhandle Fishing Report. I'm your host, Smitty Surf Fishing, and with me always is my co-host.
What's up, everybody? It is Demo from Finding Demo Surf Fishing Podcast. Welcome to the weekend. We've missed you guys. I have definitely glad I didn't try to take this on my own. So yeah, I am glad you are back.
It would have been fine.
Oh yeah. I'd thought about it for like a minute or two. I was like, I'll come on, do a weather report, quick report, and then call it. And then I thought about it, and I was like, nope.
Well, the weather would have been great because as I was looking back here, you guys had some good weather.
We did. We really did.
Camacho, what's up,
buddy?
Camacho,
how are you, man? Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I was watching, just kind of filling in. I had spotty Wi-Fi. Shandy had like the main Wi-Fi package, and then I just kind of bumped in off of hers, and so I can only get certain things, but I would catch in to see what everybody was up to and catching and stuff, and but it was nice to get away and relax. So much so that we booked another one. So
hey, that's the way it works on a cruise, man. I mean, that's the way it goes. Hey, back to you,
strangers.
Bruce, hi, how are you?
Been a while. Yo, Facebook users.
I
gotta tell us who you are.
Yep. If now we know who it is, or you need to switch over to the YouTube channel, or because you can still comment. So anybody watching, if you want, you can switch over to the YouTube channel. That one we know between Smitty's or mine. Those two are always broadcasting. Panhandle Surf Fishing has been a weird one. It's been hit or miss. So you could try. The easiest one I recommend is just go to the Panhandle Fishing Report one. Click onto the live there and just and go from there. We always say we're everywhere, but if you all go to that one section, if you want to comment with your name, it'll pop up every time. We'll see it. It'll be no issues. But for now, unfortunately, you're going to just keep being this person, and we're going to keep saying, hey, we love you, and thank you. Hey, Josh, you sexy bastard. How are you? I miss you. Josh and I served together for a long time.
Nice. Another Hilo mech.
Yep. Yeah. So the funny story is he put on there with some swaps is we were up for about 24 hours down in Tacottum, OIF2. So way back. And there was we had a bird down there that needed a transmission swap. So we're down there changing the tranny in another squadron's territory using all their stuff. Well, we're done with it. We're all freaking half out of it. He comes up with a pair of swaps and grabs a little fatty part of my tricep. Turn around and I'm like freaking cocked back. I'm like, no, do not kill this Marine. Do not kill him. Turned out to be a damn good friend. He's living out in Arizona now. He's just, he's a great dude. Great family.
There you go. Well, welcome, Josh. Glad you're watching, man. Who else we got on here?
We got the Rogue Reels.
There you go. What's going on,
buddy?
See you.
Jack Moran's in the house. Robert Walker from Bon Secure. I can never say it right because I don't.
Dustin.
Dude. Did you get the text by chance from Dustin? Did Dustin text you?
Probably not. No, I don't think Dustin has my number.
Oh, okay. So Dustin, Chip,
no,
his.
I know they're all down in Juneau, right?
Yeah. Oh, they caught.
Juneau seems to be the place to be. Frisky was headed down there. I like how James's photo was just a picture of his jigs. Like, this is what you do when you get skunk. It was a nice sunset. It was a nice.
It's the smartest thing to say. Jack, we can see your name now. JC, good evening to you. Jim Turner, hope you're doing well. Chip, there it is.
Oh, you and I both.
Yep, we're both right there. Yeah, Chip.
What is up,
put
Chip?
It up on Facebook. If you guys haven't seen the Sinker Guys picture from today, that's just a little taste of what they were catching at the beach. Stuff we sure as hell can't catch here. Hansford, you have been a friggin' beast.
Yeah, he was one that I was watching while I was on the road, posting Pompano pictures after Pompano pictures, and
just
crushing
it.
Facebook user wants to know.
We don't know.
Well, we're doing the same thing.
I'm
there we go. Boom. How's the knee?
So for those of you who didn't see, or if you don't follow me, I fell out of an RV. I wish I could say something cool, like I was bringing in a big red and it slapped me. My clumsy / husky ass fell out of a fifth wheel. I'm working on it. from the top step. Unfortunately, it was right outside the door, and launched myself down and managed to really jack my knee up. So MRI gave me what I thought it was. I got a ripped quad tendon, so I'll be getting surgery hopefully next week, if not the week after. So my winter fishing is done. I'm going to be screwed for a while. So, but that's okay. Get it back, get it healthy, and and I'll sit in the lab while y'all are fishing and start stealing your ideas and formulating a plan.
But the good thing is there's enough of us that are fishing, and as our gentleman said, he's waiting in the green room. We have enough carts. We can just cart you out there, man, and you can hang out with us. And as long as you're not in a cast, that would be pretty bad. But a brace, you'll be fine.
I mean, I might as well might as well. What is his Ragnar's son? No bones, the boneless. Ivan the boneless. I'll just bring
there you go. Just slide
my way around the sand because
you lost me for a second. I was like, "What are you talking about?"
I had to think about it. I don't know, all those movements right there. I mean, it's kind of disgusting. I appreciate the prayers, brother. Jack, you'll tell me in your kayak. I don't know if you want to do that, man. No.
Well, if he's offering to take you out there, I mean,
I would go. Don't get me wrong. I would go with him, but I don't want our first time to go out with him wanting to punch me in the face.
It's funny.
Salty whitefish.
Appreciate everybody tuning in and watching. This week's show is sponsored by GI Jigs. Use code PFR for 10% off your purchase. GI Jigs, where's my notes here? There we go. GI Jigs are patented handmade jigs, custom designed around the eye. If you guys haven't seen them, that's the key factor there. And even when we had Captain LJ on, he was explaining to us all of that, which is made with unique characteristics to entice fish into reaction strikes. GI jigs are made with the highest quality materials and attention to detail. They also are individually powder painted and meticulously cured to have one of the toughest finishes on the market. I tell you what, that the paint job on those things will not chip. They will not. I mean, it's the teaser tears up before the jig itself does. It does. It's amazing.
But you can retie teasers, so it's all good. It's
there. You go.
And hell, if you wanted to, you could replace the hook. But I mean, that long shank, it keeps it away from those toothy critters' mouths. That just thing holds back. It's really, really great rig. Our lure. You really, we both fish them, and you've seen other people talk about it. We fish them. They are good.
And that's just the jigs. Don't forget, he also does jig heads as well, which I have a bunch of them for reds. Now that I got the part for my boat, I can get that back out. But anyway, that's later on in the show. We'll talk about that.
All right, JC, have a good night at work, and then you guys are awesome.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, I know who Facebook user is for limping out together. That's Tom.
Yeah.
Tom also just had knee surgery. He's going to be recovering a lot faster. Like we tell you guys every week, if this has helped you out, don't forget to share it out. This information always is something somebody's going to learn something. And tonight's guest, if you didn't know, is kind of a guy that we talk to for a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. He's been on my podcast. He's been on the live show numerous times. He's just always been there. So get this shared out while you can, because that's a lot of stuff. And Bruce has an important question for you to answer, sir.
For me, with Bruce, what did I say?
Right there.
What's in the glass?
What's the drink of the show? We need to put that. We need to put that in the show notes.
We do, and we need to start. I need to start doing more little videos. But this one is Pendleton. I don't know if y'all can see that. Pendleton Whiskey Midnight. This is aged in a brandy barrel. It's comes in at 90 proof. It came in while I was gone, and Jack opened it up. Who's my 16-year-old son? He didn't drink it, but he opens it up and he cracks the lid on it, and he's like, I'm getting notes of, and he's sniffing it, and he's like, I smell cinnamon. It's got some oakiness to it. It's got, a nice caramel. I'm like, dude, when did you become a bourbon connoisseur?
Who's the sommelier of the house? Yeah. What the hell?
Where's your sifter at? And start.
Thanks, Donnie. Thank you, Donnie, for this.
Yeah, Pendleton whiskey. This came in as part of the whiskey exchange. If anybody's ever done one of those, that's pretty cool. That was my first bottle that came in. So hoping we get some more. Not to be done sitting right here with other things in it. But
show that tumbler. Yeah. You've only had that tumbler out one time.
Really?
Yeah.
The pink one?
The pink. Know. You haven't had the pink.
I like this one. This is the one I always drink out of, but I guess I don't have it on the show that often. But
I
Yeah,
have your lid,
like that one.
so I will. I have
Oh
the lid
yeah,
out.
did
I
you have
will
a
make sure.
okay.
Yeah, I found it, so
Yeah.
I'll bring that over to you.
Nice.
Hey, Vernon, how are you?
Awesome.
All right. Well, you have
Good
the next.
stuff.
You have the next control, sir.
Do I now? Oh yeah. So if you guys saw the show notes, we got Mr. Dylan Wier with us this evening. If y'all haven't seen him and followed him on social media here recently, he had an amazing catch. And some of the things we want to talk about with him tonight is how to strategically target your bucket list fish. So without further ado, we're adding in Mr. Dylan Wier. What is up, buddy?
What's going on, fellas?
Glad to have you back with us.
Yeah.
Pumped up.
You can grow a tail.
Yeah, I know. I'm too far away from the Gulf right now. I'm actually hiding in a closet, so I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It's safe.
Yeah.
It's safe.
Yeah, good. Tis the Christmas season, so I'm over here enjoying time with my family, but always excited to come on here and get to chat with you guys. So.
Well, you have been extremely busy lately.
Yeah.
Out here fishing both, and we got you in here for inshore, offshore, beach, like everything. You have hit it, and like not only hit it but crushed it on what you Jack Moran's got to come out of the closet. I knew somebody was going to make it.
Jack's got jokes.
Jack's got jokes.
I thought about it for a second, then I figured there's one child watching, and I figured Jack would go.
Jack would nice. Yeah, you're right. So just crushing it lately. You guys
Trying to.
And we'll bring up some of these videos here or some of these pictures.
You got it, or do you need me to pull it?
You can pull them up if you want. I'd bite. But let's talk about the offshore stuff and what you did recently as we start going there. So there was a particular fish that was on your bucket list that you wanted to get after. Kind of walk us through what you did to get after that.
I think so. I mean, that yellowfin tuna thing, it's been a thing for a long time, and luckily for me, last summer I was able to go ahead and get that, and it was a really cool thing because the first yellowfin I ever got was in Blaine's little 22-foot boat. It was an expedition, the first real expedition that we pushed a 22-foot boat out, 93 miles to ram, and there's been we've had 8 trips now in that boat that we've caught yellowfin and done really well, but you know. I talk to my guys a lot about this. There's a line between having good expectations for yourself and then being an elitist and not appreciating the fish you're getting. And there for a while, I was kind of dancing that line between like, okay, 30 and 40-pound yellowfin are awesome, but once you're in the realm enough, I don't think it's elitist or like jerkish to be like, okay, I want more than that fish. I want to go to the next level. It's kind of like, you get into whiting, pompano fishing and stuff like that from the surf. And once you catch enough, it's like, okay, see like that swordfish. I still appreciate that swordfish, man. We've gone on 5 trips. We are 3 for 5 on trips right now. And the biggest one is 265, but that is still a fishery we are learning and perfecting. So I will take every fish you catch is a nugget of knowledge, right? And then you get to a point where you understand the fishery a lot. And so it's time you understand also that it's just like either the big pompano are there, either the big, yellowfin are there, they're not, But, after a while you get an itch, and I'm not there with sword fishing yet to where I'm like, okay, that swordfish was cool, but I want bigger. And that's where we were with yellowfin. And that's been about the last 6 to 8 months has been like, okay, cool. But when are we going to pop a yellowfin over 100 pounds? And that was so this was a trip early in the week, Monday, Tuesday. We went off in Blaine's 22-foot boat to Ram Pal. So this was at Ram. We got a little blackfin on the VR50. We used those for chunking up for yellowfin and stuff like that. And then I think the next picture is one small yellowfin we got. And that was we got 3 schoolie-sized yellowfin early in the week. And don't get me wrong, those things eat like butter. So good. Yeah, so good.
I would be so happy with a fish like that.
Yeah,
dude. It's like I said, there's a difference between not appreciating that fish and knowing that you want more. And I think you just got to really in your mind, it's a mental battle because you're not no one's ever too good for that fish. I'm not too good for that fish. I'm never going to not appreciate that fish, but there is a time where you're like, okay, I want bigger, and you can do it appropriately. And that's kind of where we were with the yellowfin stuff.
So you in Blaine's 22.
Do you want to switch?
What's that?
Do you want me to switch it so you can maintain the control, or what do you need here?
Oh, I'm good. I'm switching through.
Oh, okay, you
Yeah,
guys
so-
just see the whole part. I'm sorry. Yep, you're good.
Yeah, so right now that's a floater, and we were in Blaine's boat for this trip too. That's a floating oil rig out by Ram Powell. It's about 92 miles out, 91 miles out from Pensacola, and it's really cool. It's the first floater I've ever fished in my life. So it's a giant circular thing that's, using bow thrusters to constantly position itself. It's a floating structure, and that's pretty neat. I've never seen one. Looks like an alien spaceship.
It does. So now we're getting into oil rig stuff, but I guess it has a tube that goes straight down that keeps it. That's anchored, and then it uses the bow thrusters to keep it.
Yeah. They don't anchor from that tube.
Yeah.
They need to keep that tube slacked of sorts. Yeah. So we pulled up to jig for blackfin thing, and we were like, just checking it out, and one of those bow thrusters kicked on. It's not just like a kiddie pool, man. It's like boom. We were like, oh, get out of here, guys. Yeah.
So that one's that's a stationary.
That's a stationary rig. That's actually one of the biggest rigs in the Gulf of Mexico, and that was the big tuna trip we just got back from. That is Appomattox, 130 miles offshore from Pensacola. So 4-hour, 22-minute boat ride out there, and that right there. You can kind of see the yellowfin with the popper in its mouth, and that was the 100-pound mark was the goal. And when we showed up out there, we showed up just after dark. We saw some yellowfin busting here and there, and we were like, we'll talk about in a little bit with you guys how we find these fish. But we were reading altimetry right. The bait was there. The yellowfin were there. The big ones weren't there. 9:30. I saw my first 100-pound yellowfin sky about 30 foot from the boat. And as in slow motion in my mind, I could see the sickles come all the way back almost to the tail. And I was like, holy crap. That's a big, big, big yellowfin. And so I started slinging the popper. And the funny part is Blaine and I have worked really, really hard to get some popping setups that are ready for that fish right there, right? You don't want to hook that fish and get spooled or your connections or your braid or whatever. So we have 2 setups that are probably $1,000 a piece, $1,200 a piece just for popping. And I had changed my setup over to a stick bait because they were chasing flying fish. I wasn't getting hit. There's giant tuna busting everywhere. So I put a Nomad 200 Riptide on, and Blaine still had his Chug Norris on there. And then they were blowing up and they couldn't get a bite. And Blaine was moving the live baits. He was chunking live chummers out, everything like that. And I was like, Blaine, do you mind if I throw this thing? And he kind of hesitated. And then he was like, yeah, sure. And the sure was like, he was like, dude, you're not going to catch one of those fish on that popper. It's not going to happen, whatever. And he kind of convinced himself and he moved on. And then I saw a couple more sky, and that fish was hit my popper. And I thought it was maybe 60 pounds because the blow up wasn't that big. And it was to the boat with a gaff in it in 5 minutes.
Wow.
I mean, we locked it down, but that fish did not fight. When the first time he came underneath, he was flat doing this around the boat. I was like, that's not my fish. I don't know who is hooked up right now, but that's not my fish. Because it was a spinning reel, 8-foot rod locked down, and I'm like pumping. Every pump he's coming up. And I was like, all right, well, Blaine, get ready, stick this thing. And I was like, we said a little prayer together and said, all right, this fish might weigh just about within 20 pounds of what you do. So if you stick it and it, if it kills you, it kills you. And he was like, I'm ready to die. And then stuck it, and it was all good. So
crazy, dude. That was amazing. Like, how awesome was it to see fish like that just busting and skying?
Yeah, dude. Probably
I've never seen anything like that.
The biggest thing that I was like upset about was I wasn't able to get it on videos at night, and the camera we were using wasn't able to just get that low light. So yeah, there was Blaine did it for a while. He stood up there and threw poppers, but you just stand and just watch. I mean, it was crazy to see them air out, and then 5 flying fish would scatter, right? So they're doing this thing, scattering out, and then one would hit, and as soon as it hit, boom, next one it just launched. And it was funny because we had we went out with a guy who had just bought a 32-foot Sportsman, but they hadn't been yellowfin tuna fishing. So they invited Blaine and I on the boat with 4 of the guys to show them how to do yellowfin tuna fishing. So no one on the boat had ever yellowfin tuna fished ever. Gotcha. And so the boat was constantly going, oh my gosh, did you see that over there? Oh, there's a freaking giant over there. Oh, look at these marks on the screen. Oh, there goes another one. It was just like, all right. We get it. There's big tuna here. Let's get it. Like, let's get one in the boat. And the funny thing was right before I hooked up with mine, we slid over to the rig to get some blackfin for chunking. Blaine was one of the only 2 guys in the boat that didn't get a 100-pound yellowfin this trip. And he drops on the jig for blackfin, and jig, smack, stuck, left the house. And probably was hooked up for 20 minutes before he rubbed off. And it was definitely it was just before those fish had started to surface, and he hooked that fish about 150 foot of water, and he definitely hooked one of those yellowfin, and just got chafed off on the leader. So,
man, I could imagine the not chaos, but I guess controlled chaos, because everyone's excited. You get out there, the first time you're getting out there, and you're seeing it, the lights and everything's happening. You're seeing all the marks on the depth finder and everything on your bottom.
It's surreal.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, rods just start going off. I can imagine like this.
There's like, I mean, like I said, I've definitely put my hands on a lot of yellowfin, and definitely that's a next step, right? So like my mind isn't quite experienced for it. But even after I caught that fish and I was like, check, done, I could never touch another rod for the rest of the trip. I'm good. I want to get these guys on yellowfin, whatever. Like when I'd walk up and see one sky out and I throw it and I'm like, pop. Yeah, and I'm like shaking. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, like what's wrong with you? And I was just like, it doesn't get old. It didn't get old the whole time. In the morning we caught more yellowfin, and I don't think it will. But yeah, it's definitely chaotic, and that's where having at least a couple people on the boat when we're trying to gaff fish. I'm holding the camera, Blaine's main gaff. We got a guy with a second gaff because those fish deserve two gaffs. It's like, okay, the fish comes through, you kind of talk everybody through it, and it's like there's a moment of like, yeah, let's go. The reel's like, gee, dump in, and it's like, hey, shut up, get the fish in, you pay attention, you get on the wheel, you listen to what we say, because we're calling out where the line is, not like a jerk or anything, but it's just like, okay, that was cool, everybody's excited, good. Now let's like be quiet until this fish hits the deck, and then we can lose it. And then after it happens once, and then twice, 3 times, 4 times, and then it's like, then it's a party. Then everybody's already got their experience down. And the third 100-pound yellowfin that comes through, the dude's not nervous anymore about gaffing. He's like, it's going to come through, 3, 2, 1, stick, put it in the boat. And it's like, that's how we do, baby. Like everybody's getting excited. And then you get the whole big fish camaraderie. Everything's working. The relief of everything's working, because that's, it's not a cheap trip. So it's that was a definitely really cool trip to be on, from the uniqueness, but to see guys never touch a yellowfin period to seeing the fourth big yellowfin was 88 pounds, and when it hit the deck they were like, I don't know if that's gonna go 100, man.
I don't know, man, that's kind of disappointing there.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Boat, you little thing.
Bang yeah, it's like, what do you guys, this is a huge fish. They're like, yeah, it's a big fish, that's all right, it's a big fish.
Yeah, you got to keep reminding yourself that. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Come on, Mike. Let's take your boat out. We can make it.
No,
he proved it in his YouTube. I mean, they did it. They did it in theirs.
Yeah, I know.
We talked about doing the. We talked about it takes 45 gallons of jerry cans for us to go to Appomattox. We haven't done it yet, but it definitely already crossed our minds.
Like you said,
45 gallons.
The first
how
time
big of a tank does it have on board?
104-gallon tank.
I couldn't carry enough gas.
No, you couldn't. I mean, I remember
like 80-some gallons of gas.
When you did it the first time, I remember it was a big plan in the process. It was the conditions have to be perfect. You guys were scouting that weather report. Well, I remember we talked about it. The first time you did it, we're like, oh, man, there had to be perfection the entire way. And once you guys saw it, you're like, all right, let's go full bore. So
you gotta shoot, because the more time you delay it too, you've got to keep the boat up, right? So you gotta okay, it's been 2 months, not finding this gap. Is the boat still in tip top? Everything's got to be perfect. So don't be afraid to shoot it, but you've got to know the capabilities of your boats. And we ran blends a lot around the area, and then constantly calculated fuel each trip, and then said, okay, 293 was the mean number we had. There's a few trips where our range was 300 miles with 104 gallons, and then some were 290, and 293 is the number we run off of with that 104. Yeah, you just got to be ready. You're ready to push it.
So that's a good transition. How do we? You're good at this, Brian. What do you use to start calculating those trips? Like, okay, this is going to be a good weather condition or a good weather window for us to target to head out.
So yeah, you talking about conditions, like what conditions we look for? Okay, yeah, and before we jumped on Hilton's offshore or rip charts, either one, we look at basically 3 things, obviously, without talking about your boat and everything's ready. So if I'm looking at weather conditions, I'm looking at the wind and waves. So obviously it needs to be, I need to know hour on the hour from, whatever noon to 6 o'clock. So if you go down there, the bottom tab is wind and waves just above trip planner.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And I will swear by this app. And if I get someone hurt, I guess, but this thing right here has never, ever, ever let us down. You got weather.com, you got all these wind finder apps. They'll, you go out and it's supposed to be 2 foot and it's 4 foot. It's supposed to be, 5-mile-an-hour winds, it's 15. This thing does not miss, but you can tell, and you can zoom in here if you need to. Like you can just run your scroller. If you zoom in, you can see why wind finder in places like that might be wrong. So if you scroll all the way to the beach, you can see like Destin is looking like, you can see the wind in Destin compared to Pensacola. So if you leave your cursor there, it's like 4 miles an hour versus there. So when you're offshore, there's times where at the fads, it's 5-mile-an-hour winds. 2 miles off the beach, it's 22-mile-an-hour winds. And you got to push through these pockets of wind. This is a very specific, and then you can see on your bottom there, you can go through hour by hour. And obviously it changes, but you can check a few days ahead, and we check every day, probably about twice a day leading up to a trip like that. And if at any point, Saturday, it falls apart and it looks like around midnight, it's now going to kick up to 15 all over the Gulf. Well, we're never afraid to cancel a trip. You got to be ready to say, okay, that's stupid. We got to stay home. But that thing right there is the reason that people say the weatherman lies, because the weatherman's saying, okay, in Pensacola, not in Gulf Breeze, in Pensacola, it's going to be 5-mile-an-hour winds. 30 miles offshore, man, it could be, you're seeing it right now. You're seeing this pocket of wind that's swirling in and around. That's 0 miles an hour wind, versus, I don't know, whatever, if you're down in the Cape or something like that. And that's a calm Gulf right there. But
yeah, and it's crazy not being a weather guy, but I'm looking right here where the cursor is, where you can see it's like 1 mile. That seems to be the epicenter of something.
Yeah, the eye.
Yeah,
the eye of something is everything's kind of coming out from there.
Right. And then on this app, it's really cool. You can click on those coordinates. You can lay a star, something like that, and then you can overlay that with altimetry. You can overlay it with your chlorophyll and stuff like that. That's what we can go into next. So that's the tick one, obviously, is are we going to die out there? And right now, if you were out there right now, hey, we're going to live, pending somebody stupid or something. But so the weather's good. The next one I go to is altimetry. And that's basically, we could do a whole hour podcast on altimetry. I'll give you guys the crash course. If you scroll down, there's a blue and a red. Red is, I think, and I'm going to get this messed up in my head, but I'm pretty sure the red is the down dwelling. The blue is the upwater dwelling. And basically, obviously, so the red's pushing down, sucking everything in like this. The blue is pushing out. And the basic premise is if you move that magic cursor that we talked about earlier and scroll up, because this is similar to the altimetry that we had. So if you put it on Appomattox oil rig there, or close to it, and then you kind of zoom in, zoom in a couple more times. So that blue is an upwater water dwelling. And near the upwater water dwelling, there's things that aren't quite developing yet, like phytoplankton, zooplankton, stuff like that flying fish and whatever eat. And then the further rings you get out, we always like to count 5 to 8 rings out of the middle of the blue. And that's exactly, you can see Nakika, Blind Faith, and it's almost too close. Like Blind Faith Thunderhawk may not be a good place. And you'd think, dude, we're going out 190 miles in the Gulf. How would we not catch big yellowfin? Your better rigs are going to be up here by Appomattox, maybe even Horn Mountain, Delta House. Great reports there. Thunderhawk, Blind Faith, it's been a ghost zone because there's that phytoplankton and zooplankton isn't developing far enough. And honestly, if you don't want to know the science behind it, basically don't get too close to the updwellings or the downdwellings, and don't get caught between, because sometimes those happen right off our beach. Those upwellings and downdwellings move. Yeah, and so you could be in a complete dead zone. And that's why some guys, we went out to Alabama and we didn't catch jack, and all these guys in Florida are killing the snapper. It could be something like that. But basically 5 to 8 rings around, the nutrients there is perfect. The flying fish are everywhere. And I'll tell you what, at Appomattox, there were flying fish literally flying so much to get away from yellowfin, they were flying into the boat. Like we had a few that we used for live bait. They were just bang, 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 bang. And that's just, there was so much life there. And that's altimetry. That's the way to go. If you're curious about altimetry, look up plenty of videos. There's lots of videos on YouTube. Guys talk about specifics of altimetry. We, spend a lot of time in our office digging into the science behind what we're doing, and that's altimetry don't forget that one. So that's number 2 on our checklist. The last one.
You almost have to.
Yeah,
You're making a trip out there, and like you said, the amount of gas you got to burn and everything out there, you don't want to waste money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You kind of want to have a calculated idea of what it is you're going after, and if
100%.
the conditions are even going to be right for you to go out.
Yeah, and it's all in theory for sure, but yeah, more times than not, the altimetry saves the day, and sometimes it just looks like crap. Like you're like, the altimetry looks bad, but I'm not going fishing, man. You know, that's when we catch some of those schoolie yellowfin and stuff like that. So, and then this is the chlorophyll for everybody watching. That's a fancy word for water quality. And like Timo's doing here, it's really cool if you zoom in closer to the tip of Louisiana where that red, yellow, and green mixes with the blue. To the left. If you zoom in there really, really tight, that'll give you a good idea of colors on this app. And Hilton's, we pay $200 a year for this thing. It is 100% the reason we have caught the fish that we've caught this year in the Gulf. So you can see the red is basically all the bay water coming out. The yellow looks pretty good, and it's a really short change there. The green is not bad water. That's probably what a lot of the guys call king green water that you see a lot off our beaches and stuff like that. It's clear, it's good looking water. It's just not blue. And then if you go over to the blue side, that's blue water, but it gets better than that at Nakika and Appomattox. It does get clearer than that. I don't know if maybe if you zoom way out and find out in the Gulf, there'll be purple water. And I've seen purple water before, and it's not this bottom right corner of your screen.
Oh, that's what I do.
It's not reachable a lot of time. But at the bottom right corner of your screen, you can see it's even bluer than the blue in the Gulf right now. And that water is next level, just like it's not even clear anymore.
Crazy.
It's like purple. But yeah, the blue water is what you look for. And like I said, I mean, I know guys who catch absolutely massive yellowfin in green water. It doesn't have to. That's not a major factor. It's just like the altimetry is good, the water's good, the weather's good. Bang, bang, bang. Let's go. You don't have to have all three. But you can see here the transition smaller in our area of the Gulf, and you can see Mobile Bay.
That's it.
Yeah,
especially right in here, which would be like maybe Fort Walton Beach area, maybe. You know what I mean? There's not much of a transition.
Well, scroll up there. You got the cool thing. Tell me what that is. Why does it matter? I'm sitting here anyway.
Yeah, so it's good for the surf guys too. You can see how much Mobile Bay has influenced Perdido Key, Orange Beach right now.
Heck yeah.
And I'm sure those guys can see it a lot too. And then Destin's getting a little bit of that red from the bay, so that may be a red tide situation. But you can see also if you push close, I mean that green water right there, how close that blue water comes for the Fort Walton Destin guys is pretty neat. So
is this updated like real time, or is it like lag a day or two, or how?
It updates. I think it takes 2 pictures now at 6:30 and 7:30 every single night. So this might be the recent pictures. If you come off that magic thing and scroll up the top of the system, it'll tell you scroll to the right too, like this way. I guess my left, or you can just reload it. Go the other way. Yeah.
Oh,
there you go. So
550 today.
Yep.
Is that what? Okay.
So it came in at 350 today. Yeah.
350 today.
You haven't been retired that long. Come on, you know the number.
I looked at it and I saw it was 5, and I was like, okay, 550. I'm like, oh no, it's 350. Yeah, you're right. I haven't been retired that long.
No. So yeah, they're updated daily, and they're good to go. So they're all fresh, and that's leading up to a trip. You check, it looks good, but we're still 3 days out, 2 days out, 1 day out. And if you ever get orange or red water around your rigs, just
don't go.
Stay home.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, $200 a year when you look at something like this with all the amount of information that you just dropped for $200 a year for a planning process, that's huge. I mean,
and you have a trip
monster.
Yeah. Yeah, it's we have a trip planner over here, so we calculate mileage through Hilton's. So we select Mahogany Mills. We leave here. We have a trip planner. You can also save your trip plan, and we share it. You can share it with Blaine's dad. I share it with my fiance. We share it with some of the guys that we're going with, and they share it with their significant others. Yeah, so the Coast Guard, if everything ever goes wrong, I don't know, some stupid kids take a 22-foot boat out in the middle of the Gulf. Right. When we go missing, it's like, here's a blueprint to what we were doing. And we don't stray from a blueprint either. So we go here, there's fish, there's not fish, we go here next, and then we go home. We don't let's just go wander. Like, we stick to a game plan based off of this stuff. And then, 90% of our fish are caught in our office before we ever leave. Yeah. And that's the way to do it for sure.
Heck yeah. Dude, this is awesome. I've never been on here, and I've heard people talk about Hilton's and check-ins, different things, and it's just that's pretty good.
Yeah. There's there's tabs all the way down. You get your 3D bottom here, so you can go if you guys are natural bottom, you got natural bottom guys or something like that. you can still use that
Yeah.
magic thing and zoom in, and you can see the salt deposits. You can see some of the
Yeah.
deep drops. You can see the ledges. So you got that. You got salinity. You've got currents on there. I mean, the amount of resources you have, and we use them all. They're all very important. But those three, if I could tell you just to simplify it down to three, it's weather, altimetry, and
Yeah.
chlorophyll. But yeah,
I love map porn.
I know
Yeah.
that's basically
love
what
this
it
stuff.
is. I just
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, where are you?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
There's
fine.
de-risking, the start of the drop. Yep.
yeah.
You can see
That is-
you can see also how our fishery is structured. It gives you a good idea of that, where that
Oh yeah.
dip is
Yeah.
in, and how flat Alabama stays for so long, and
Oh yeah.
just perspective on our Gulf and why things happen. Why do blackfin come to Navarre in the wintertime? How do you think they're funneled? Right? You know what I mean? They're not
Yeah.
going to come, all the way to Orange Beach or Gulf Shores Pier because it's flat for so long. They're going to funnel that deep water until they can sprint. And then they sprint to Navarre. Navarre is a fishbowl, it's deep, and then they can take the edge behind the Oriskany right back out to deep
Yeah.
water.
So
Everything's
kinda-
calculated, everything has a reason. So
this kind of transitions us into, and I explained folks when we get into shark fishing, right?
yeah.
Why Navarre and Pensacola areas are so good, and Destin is kind of harder, I guess, to beach fish. Not that they're not there, but
Right.
it's really like a highway when you can look at it like this and see this
You can
curvature
scroll
as
in.
it comes in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you understand that the migratory patterns of certain fish and how they come in, it makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean?
Where do they come from? Where are these fish coming from? Dusky sharks, easy.
Yeah.
The way dusky sharks are on the fads, they're on the tuna rigs, they eat tuna, they're staying out offshore, and they're gonna, when they kite and they run the beach, that's their path. They take, and they're a structure fish by heart too. Dusky sharks are unique, very special species to my heart, and we've done a lot of research to them. They're structure fish. So there's no accident why, or try not to give away too much, but why do we catch why do we catch the
wondering where you were
duskies
going
that we
with that.
catch?
Right.
Yeah, but why do we catch the duskies we catch in Pensacola? Probably 95% of our duskies have been caught in Pensacola versus Navarre, Orange Beach, Pensacola. And then the ones we do catch in Navarre, we catch at a very specific place for a specific reason. And that's the reason. And I talked to a lot of guys. Shark fishing has been really cool lately because a lot of guys are getting into the sport. And that's what I want. I want the sport to grow. We've talked about it before on the podcast. The more people are in it, the bigger the voice you have. So if something tries to happen with banning it, you have more people saying, "No, this is bad," versus two people. But there's also a way to get into the sport, blah blah blah, all the safety stuff, and we don't have to get in that now. But when I talk to the guys who are getting into the sport, and they go out and like this winter's been on fire for duskies. I mean, we've caught more duskies than we ever have. We've doubled our numbers of 10-foot dusky fish. And then these guys are also coming in. They're new. They're getting it. I'm telling them, like right now, I'll tell everybody that's watching, fish baits, fish baits, fish baits. If you're not using fish baits for dusky sharks, you're not probably going to catch a dusky shark. If you want big tigers, they're sporadic right now, but you got to use ray baits. But I tell these guys, use a fish bait, take it out there, learn your thing, and then it happens, right? They hit this fish, and it's at 11:30 p.m. And I'm like, I don't want to give you the blueprint that I've worked for 6 years, but I also don't want to be a jerk. So what I'm gonna tell you is, why did that fish happen? And he's like, well, because I used a fish bait and did what you said. I was like, no, why? Why did the fish happen? Where are you at? What's the tide? What's the tide doing? Which way is the water moving? How was the water quality? How far was your bait drop? What is the chlorophyll right now? What is the salinity like in your water? Because it's all patternable. I haven't shark fished in probably 2.5 weeks. Granted, people have been catching fish, but the last time we went shark fishing, we caught 7 duskies, 3 of them over 10 foot. It was 2 days, and I haven't done it since because of the weather's been warm and duskies are cold water. Like those are easy boxes, but there's a weather gap coming up next week. It's going to be a high of 38 and a low of 23, and I'll be on the beach. And I'll be on the beach not for dusky sharks. I'll be on the beach for guys that are in blue suits and they jump really cool. Yeah. And so there's a rhyme and a reason to these things. And I think the biggest thing, whether it's shark fishing, whatever kind of fishing you do, when you get the fish or you catch some of the fish you want, don't just stop. That's not an end result. How can I replicate it? And then why did it happen in that? And sometimes, yes, you can, it's up to chance. But over 8 years, I've been here for 9 years now. It's not, everything is repeatable. Everything is repeatable. And you've just got to ask yourself, why did it happen? And then learn why. If you don't know why, you don't have to know why. Just take notes. Notes.
I was getting ready to say that too. That a lot of people, and I've joked with Brian about it when he's recording, what baits he's using and the rig setup and the color combo and everything. And I'm like, dude, that's a lot of work. I just want to throw my bait out there and catch fish. You know what I mean? But
weird.
To your point, by doing that, you can establish certain patterns as you've done, right? And certain things. So if there's a weather window coming up, that's where you want to be at this particular point with this particular bait to catch this particular fish.
Exactly. Yeah. And I guess that's a really good point as well. Who I'm talking to in those moments, because there's definitely guys who shark fish or offshore fish, and they just do their Saturday is getting out of their house. I get to get away from my, family or whatever I don't care if I catch anything, and I'm doing that. So I guess it's not a bad thing if you don't get meticulous with it, but my perspective is I want to be, a high class level fisherman, and I'm not competing with anybody else, but be myself and Blaine. And we constantly are bumping each other up, and I want to be, one of the greats, and I want to compare myself to guys, like the Jeremy Wades or, the guys who are big time Spencer Wonder guys in our area and in our market who are you look at the guys and you're just like, that dude goes out and catches fish. And it's like, I don't want to be the lucky guy. I want to be the good, I want to be a guy who can help people, but it's a level of pushing yourself, and not everybody's interested into it. But if you want to be one of those top guys, and I'm never a secret guy, so you can hit me up on Facebook. My name's Dylan Wier on there. Always send me a message. I'll share you my entire list, and you can do the same. I'm not trying to be better than anybody else or compete with somebody. It's just I want to try to be top dog and be professional and be good at what you do. And I love fishing. Loved it since I was a kid, catching bluegill in a pond. So
there you go.
But even then, I was wondering, how do I catch more bluegill? So
yeah,
how do I catch more? Is it grasshoppers or earthworms, or what am I using? Crickets or what's getting me the most baits?
Right. I have a notebook that has green grasshoppers with like 7 circles in it. It's here in Kansas City.
Really?
I don't know, man. I don't know what I was doing then, but
so let's go. We kind of jump through here. Do we got any comments here? Nope, not after Jack's bite. Yeah, everybody's listening and taking it all in. I mean,
Donnie wants to go fish with you, which eventually, Donnie's going to eventually live here. I mean, he's down here. So,
I see that.
Be a good one.
Him and his wife moving down here, and
that'd
kids. It'll be a good time. So we kind of hit it a little bit, but your offshore has been awesome. What about nearshore? I'll bring up some more photos here because again, you guys have just been.
I got you.
Yeah, a really cool one, easy, simple to share without taking up too much time. For guys that are near shore, they want to go out, they want to get tight. If you're in Pensacola, go to, oh my gosh, okay, Jack, help me out here, man. I'm sorry to ask you a favor. I think it's Maria's Seafood in Pensacola. But they
right
sell fresh blue crabs.
Not Dunkin', but Krispy Kreme.
Yep. So they got blue crabs there. Lost Key Outdoor has frozen blue crabs right now, and then there is like Aguila Seafood if you're over in Orange Beach. Get in the canals. It does not matter. But the canal over in Orange Beach or Wayside Park or like 3 Mile Bridge area and stuff like that. Just get out there and fish that structure with blue crabs. Easy peasy. That's the Sorry, I guess that's more the inshore, but black drum. That's it.
Black drum right now.
That's all you need. Yep. They've been there for a month and a half. Yeah, that's a cool fish. That's an older fish. We're a little bit outside that report, but it's a lemon shark. It came in right at 9 foot. That was the hurricane. So the hurricane that we had, the tropical storm that was supposed to hit us, hit South Florida. I never catch lemon sharks unless it's around before pre front fishing is lemon sharks. We don't get them Pensacola that often. I've seen 3 in my entire life. All 3 were right after storms. So pretty cool stuff. Unique fish for our area. Another unique fish. I'm not as good at surf fishing as you guys, but we put it out every once in a while. And we get lucky, and that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool for me. I think that was back when everybody was getting them. That's the same way, little kingfish out of the kayak, stuff like that. That was
that you paddle. You don't pedal. You paddle. Even when you did your tuna, that ocean kayak has seen a lot of miles. But I always love that you're out there like, I got this.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. As soon as we get back to rolling and I get my business back and we kind of get our freedom again, I'll have a pedal kayak. It's my bank account, dude. I'm pedaling because
Yeah.
I'm pedaling. I'm saving them dollar bills, man. I can't wait. I can't wait. One of those days I'll be out here like this and I'll be
There
doing
you
this
go.
with my hands because I don't have to do it. But there's that dusky shark, like we talked about. That was actually on Halloween. So that was the first dusky shark of the year. My buddy down there on the tail, we were getting some just personal video and stuff like that. That was his first 10-foot fish. Funny thing, because I think Blaine's listening. That fish was like 11 and a half foot, and Blaine had just left. And Blaine, at that moment, had not broken 10 foot yet. So
That's
our
what I was about
roommate,
to ask. I was like, oh no.
brand new to shark fishing, 6 months in, broke 10 foot for Blaine. Blaine's on a 2.5-year grind. Yeah, hilarious. That was funny.
remember that.
Poor Blake.
We made the video, and I called Blaine, so I've got a phone call with Blaine in our video. That's pretty funny.
Oh,
I had to cut a few things out. There might have been some choice words, but all love in our group for sure. So there's the drum I talked about. That's Wayside Park. So little drummy dudes. We use them for bait. They're an excellent pull. There we go. If you want to talk about Blaine breaking 10 foot.
Those are gorgeous sharks, man.
Look at that tail, man.
So that, you'll talk about a kid who works hard for his stuff. That's Blaine grinded for that fish for a long time. And that was actually an expedition we used Hilton's for. And we were like, we use it for offshore. Let's use the same checklist. And we found that the Cape San Blas, about a month and a half ago, was the move based off of the little things that we gathered for shark fishing. And we did. And we went there. And believe it or not, that's a 10'6" tiger shark. It looks like 12 foot for no reason.
It does.
I don't know why that picture turned out
Blaine's
so good.
not that small. I mean, that's
no, he's not. He's like 6 foot. He's like right there at 6 foot. So, yeah. But yeah, that was a big surreal moment as the camp over there in Cape San Blas. And so he did it. He broke 10 foot. He's good. Nice. And I got a little consolation tiger as well. So
there you go.
And I caught 12 sandbars on that trip.
Wow. Oh man.
Couldn't get away from those jokers, but popping the hook out there with the little tiger shark, making sure his teeth look good.
Little tiger shark. Little quick trip to the dentist there, and he's good.
Yeah. So Blaine gets back, goes to Pensacola Beach. I had a dinner with my fiance. Jake had work, and I was like, "This gap looks good. We're gonna hit it, but we're gonna hit it a day late." And Blaine was like, "Screw it, I'm not hitting a day late." And so he's like, "I'm going by myself." And so he went by himself. He tied himself off to a sand spike and caught that 10.5, 11-foot dusky by himself.
Wow.
And that was right after his 10 foot. So this kid's like bang, bang within 5 days, 2 10-foot sharks. And it's been off the rocks ever since. He's gotten a bunch of big sharks. But he did say he was glad he tied himself off the sand spike because he got pinned up and stretched out.
That's even smaller sharks, and I say smaller sharks, like in the 4 to 6 foot range, are tough by yourself. I could not imagine working something like that by yourself.
I think that speaks to Blaine's been here for 2 years. I've been doing it for 8 years. He came in and learned a system, and he can handle a 10-foot fish by himself and be efficient with it. There's another one. Jake got a second 10-foot as well, so that's a big dusky shark he got. And then I think all these pictures are the same trip. We got 7 duskies and a couple little tigers and stuff like that. So it was cool, and that was the last. There's my. I got an 8'6", little 8.5-foot dusky in between them all, and then I finally got my last one right before I left was a big girl, but there it is. There's an 11.5-foot guy. So
amazing thing about sharks, man, they are just pure muscle and beautiful. I mean, kind of terrifying, but like you said, they're to be respected, but they are pure muscle and beautiful fish. I mean, they really are.
Yeah, I mean, I think respect comes in a bunch of different ways, and there's definitely respect for the health of the fish, but there's respect for what the fish can do to you. You know what I mean? You step in. I'm not a boxing guy, so it might sound stupid, but you step in the ring with Muhammad Ali, you respect the guy, right? Because if you don't respect him, he's going to knock your head off your shoulder. So they're the same way. Respect him in multiple aspects, but very cool. So, but that's been the jive lately, fellas.
That's awesome, and so much different too. I mean, that's so much different catching them from land than it is in a boat. You know what I mean? I tell folks all the time when they don't understand that like, I've caught sharks before. I'm like, but you haven't caught one from the beach. They're like, well, no, what's the difference? I'm like, oh, you'll find out. And you find out really quick what a difference it is.
Yeah, I will probably, we plan to restart a new business soon. We're working out the legal side of things, get back to videoing, and I don't think I'll ever stop land-based shark fishing. And we talk about the tuna and the swordfish, and we have a notebook with game plans, Blaine and I, to go to South Africa to catch marlin from the rocks. Like we've got all these game But there is something really unique about land-based shark fishing. It's like it's not. It is epic for sure, but at some point it's an art form that is like I call it like caveman fishing. It's like it's down to your spirit, your core. It's like woohoo, rock, fire.
Right.
You know, you've got like big fish, and I'm gonna tie myself to it, and I'm not gonna move, and he's not gonna move. You know what I mean? It's like hee haw. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's stupid, and we talk about that too. We talk about like we do this like yellowfin tuna fishing stuff, and we get in with these big sportsman guys and guys like Chris Pasici, who's like just his knowledge goes off the top of the charts. You know, we get to talk to these guys, and then he's like, sometimes we go catch sharks. It's like I'm like I'm sure people are just like, why would you jack with this thing? But there's definitely something about it that if you say that's stupid, I'm like, dude, right? Shouldn't it be stupid? But it's not to me. For some reason, it's not, So, but it's definitely cool, man. And I said it once, I said it 100 times. Our fishery is probably one of my most unique fisheries in the entire world. Yes, you can go somewhere else and catch marlin from the rocks. Yes, you can go to Japan and get, yellowfin and big eyes from the rocks. And yes, Australia, whatever. Dude, talk to me about diversity over a calendar year. Tell me more species you can catch. That absolutely blow a mind. And that's our goal here, is to stay home and do a calendar year full of every unique species, from blue marlin to makos to hammers to swords, yellowfin, do the whole thing, whole shebang in one calendar year. And the year looks like 2025 right now, to be able to. You can't just do it by luck. I want to do it by it's intentional. We did, January, February, March. This is all planned out, meticulous, and so there's no place like this place. It's awesome.
No, the diversity of fishing here is just amazing.
Carl's
got a question there.
Yeah, so it's true. In July, NOAA did a study regulation. Not going to talk about the decision and why it was made. I'm just going to say the decision was made, and makos were taken and put on the federally protected list. It was, for a second, it was kind of a weird state law versus NOAA is federal, and so maybe it's not federal laws. And we were looking into the details of. And then Alabama and Florida followed suit. So there's no more reading between the lines. Florida now has federal waters and state waters. Makos are no more. So they are to be treated like a federally protected species. There be, caught, released, no delay release, no, pictures and stuff like that. So get them in, get them out, that kind of thing. And I'll kind of leave you guys on the shark fishing side with one more thought is we talked about getting more guys into the sport to not have the sport be able to be banned. And, the dusky sharks are prohibited, tiger sharks prohibited. Sandbars are technically prohibited. That's a whole nother topic I could talk about forever. Now mako sharks are gone. A question I have to leave with some of the fishing guys, even if you don't like shark fish, they're coming after us in the shark fishing realm. And it's really subtle because of things like this. And it's not, obviously, they didn't do the whole makos away just for land-based shark fishing. We're small egg. But an FWC officer stops you now, and he wants to be a jerk, and he understands all the, a lot of the FWC guys don't understand the whole shark fishing. They don't really care either. They're like, did it die? No. Okay, who cares? Is it bleeding? No, who cares? So, but if an FWC guy stops and he's on the anti-shark fishing side and he wants to ask you, what are you targeting? Black tips are gone. Spinner sharks are kind of gone. Hammer, all the safe ones. You might be able to tell them, I'm hoping for a big bull shark. Before it was, I'm mako fishing. And, you caught a couple of duskies. Well, we're not targeting them, Now it's like, no, what are you out here for?
Yeah.
And it's like, bull sharks. That's the one, maybe deniable plausibility you have. And that's not to put anybody in a hard spot or be, like I said, someone has to make an issue out of it.
To be aware of, because like you said, it's very subtle. And the fact that certain species are now being added, you're like, what? Are you serious? Or are you kind of starting to come after land-based shark fishing? Because it kind of seems that way. You know what I mean?
I think it's a side note. Side note for sure. Hawaii banned land-based shark fishing this year. California stepped up regulations really hard, and so it's definitely starting. It's just going to be, where does it settle? And I think we're a big determined factor of that. So,
and I know some, we can get into another whole conversation on that, but there's some areas in Maryland where you can only cast your bait out. You can't kayak baits out. You can't do anything. So you can only target.
I've heard that.
Which you can cast for. because we ran into it because I used my RC fishing surfer boat on a lot of stuff. And on one of the forums, somebody asked about it, and we dug into it more. And it's a local ordinance, just like Okaloosa has their local ordinance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like
but yeah, it's still
technicalities.
yeah, exactly. But it's slowly starting to, morph and migrate into different areas and different things. So
Yeah, they're doing the same thing with drone fishing around the country right now. That won't be a thing in 3 years, unfortunately. There's just the airspace thing mixed with like people who
Yeah.
don't know how to fly aircrafts, with like fishing with like damage to aircraft. It's just not those two airspace and civilians don't mix
Right.
very well. So
yeah,
it's definitely interesting. It's just something that you got to be aware of. It's the same thing as why that catches fish. Be aware of. It's like what's happening to my fishery and what what do these things behind the scenes mean?
Absolutely. Well, Dylan, man, it's been great chatting with you.
Yeah,
a lot
fellas,
of
I
knowledge
appreciate it.
dropped like that. And we look forward to seeing what happens in the future. You getting started back up and everything, man. Our fingers are crossed for you, man. We miss you. We miss seeing your content and stuff.
It seems like we're close. It seems like we're really close, and I'm probably gonna have to step away from Gulf Coast Nation, but that's okay. I'm ready to restart. I wish the best for everybody, dude. I'm 26 years old, and I don't too much life left for everybody else to hate people or wish ill. I just want to fish, man. I just want to fish. So
I hear you. Well, good. Have a good visit with family. That's what it's all about right now. Enjoy it, and
yes, sir.
We'll see you back here soon.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Go kick some little kids' butts and games. So.
There you go. Later, buddy.
Take care, man.
Always good, dude. That was a lot of knowledge. These last couple shows, if you guys have been paying attention, we've been trying to target for what it is you guys have been asking for and wanting to know about, and the knowledge that has been dropped is just incredible.
Yeah,
I'm digging that Hilton's, man. I may have to get a subscription to that.
I'm not saying I was going to be like, I'm getting that one.
I'm getting that one.
I mean, even for
anybody's wondering what to get us for Christmas, Brian and I would like a subscription to Hilton's.
I mean, how many times is it we talk about? I mean, it's one of the top questions I ask on my podcast, which is, how do you plan your fishing trips? Mm-hmm. This right here. I mean, if you're telling me I'm going to be able to sit down with one app and make a plan, and I know what water's good, what water's not, what's going to be the right mixture.
Yeah.
That's all intel that I want. I mean, how many times have you and I gone back and forth on like, oh, well, maybe wonder about salinity or, how's the clarity? All of that plays a huge role. And
absolutely
any leg up I can get, I'm stealing the hell out of that.
I'm taking it.
Taking it.
Man. So so Jack, if you're listening, or my Jack, not Jack Moran, but if anybody's listening, a subscription to Hilton's, please. That would be nice.
You don't need to sanitize. Come on.
Yeah, all right. Actually, I'm kidding. We're just spending time with family. That's what it's all about.
Richard, I am not exhausted. I am just grimacing through pain. I can't put pain. I can't do my pain management while I'm on the screen with you guys.
You can take a break. We'll take a break. Let's jump into our report then.
Well, I haven't been fishing.
Yeah, me either. All right, good talk.
Yep, good back and forth.
That's a good back and forth. I plan on getting out tomorrow for a little bit after I change the water. I mean, the oil tank on the motor.
Good.
Put the boat over and get out there. There's been some good stuff happening from the beach though, and all sorts of stuff. Big bulls here close in. We'll get into that in the report. Question of the week: fishing this winter or doing maintenance? If so, what do you fish? Will you be targeting around here? A lot of people take only fish the seasons. They'll be like, okay, so Pompano's out, not really much reason to hit the beach, so I'm just going to lay low until April again. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or until they start seeing reports pop up. But if you do take it off and or fish during the winter, what is it you're targeting right now? Where you're at? Because we got people watching from all over.
Jack already took it from me. I mean, for me, if I was fishing, it'd be like the summer plan. We lose the beach quite a bit for that kind of action. Now it's that time to move into sheepies, and sheepies are doing great right now. That's my report for the inshore. Sheepies are good. You still getting the occasional reds playing by structure. You can get out there and have fun. But if you are putting yourself into one, hey, I only want to fish this, then you really got to change your game up, And I think the majority of us all kind of play two different facets, whether you're a freshwater fisherman for the lakes and ponds and streams and all that stuff. And then, all right, hey, for the seasons I hit the surf. I mean, I could totally understand on that one.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense where you, where you change it up, you know what I mean? Beaches, so you're going to target inshore, right? Or you're going to target the completely different, or do you take the complete season off and that's when you knock out all your maintenance on rods, reels, all that good stuff? I mean, it's just everybody's got their own vibe. I like Richard's answer here.
Rainbows
up in the 1 to 3 pound range. And then brown. So he's fishing Virginia, right?
Yeah,
I remember where Richard's at. Yeah,
he's up in Virginia.
So that would be awesome. Carl, would Carl say?
Carl, you got Carl. Some sheepies. Yeah, hell yeah, Carl.
Yeah.
Get out there. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff going on right now, and we know the fish have moved into some good ones.
This guy says land-based sheeps have been good.
Well, you all will have to wait, I think. I don't think the video's out yet, right, Jack? But Jack and Jack and the old Lawless got out and decided, watch me do this from the shore, because they do stuff like that.
Now, standing on the bridge pylon does not constitute from shore.
Fair.
Okay?
Fair call.
That's fair. I mean, if you had to get there by boat, that's not constitute shore fishing.
I want feet in sand
or
rocks. So I can agree rocks. On rocks. Yeah. Sunday.
Sunday. Video's dropping Sunday. Cool. That'll be a good one. Sunday might be a good day for fishing too. Maybe. I know we got north winds coming tomorrow, and so I'm not worried about the north winds as much as I am.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about the weather here in a bit. Straight land, now bridges. Okay, cool. Tom, if you could be, hey man, we'll look forward to you getting out there. Me personally, so for me right now, I actually had a plan for this winter, which actually I can still do, kinda. I gotta figure it out. Anyway, I was gonna take my stuff from my surf gear, take a couple of reels. Hey, James, old Frisky, you finally got down there.
James, what's up, bud?
I was gonna take my reels. I think I was gonna take 2 off. I was gonna do the Battle 3 and the Shimano, and I was gonna send them over to Mott's because he's backed up, but he's not horribly backed up.
Yeah.
But I was gonna send them over to Mott's and have him just, hey, go ahead, strip them and redo them, get them all ready to go, and then fire them back out to me. And, let that for the surf gear, because I'd get that back in February, maybe March at the very latest, and then turn around and go crush it in the surf. And then flip the script, fished it really hard. Hey, Brett, how are you, man? Semper Fi to you. The switching for that one, you fished that hard in the off season. Now you're not going to be out in the kayak as much. Now you're going to be concentrating on surf. Same thing, push them through their normal rotation.
Gotcha.
But that's just me. Yep, surf fishing heavy. Mott's cleans ears every winter. Yeah, and I talked to Mott's on the podcast, and I didn't realize how important reel maintenance was, and I still kind of suck at that whole thing. But I go back to the jarhead mentality. Well, how clean's your rifle? Clean rifle does good things for accuracy.
That's true.
Clean reel will run very well.
Yes, it will. As often. Nick there, surf hippie fishing, has been tearing it up. They were North Carolina, Oak Island area, tearing up the redfish recently. It's funny how this little surf fishing community, I'll call it, we all know what's happening, and everybody, you know what I mean? It's just I think that's cool. It's such a tight knit group.
I mean, the poop scroll. Oh, look there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oak Island. Look
at it, he's tearing it up. All right.
Where are we at here? All right, so we are into the fishing report here. This fishing report is being brought to you by Rogue Reels Fishing. That's Rogue Reels, reels with a Z. Use code ROGUE15 to get 15% off of your order. Rogue Reels makes high-quality hand-tied fishing leaders like the Smitty rig at a 20-foot, 500-pound class deployable shark leader and the Demo rig on a heavy-duty double drop. Go check them out at roguereelsfishing.com. Again, that's reels with a Z. Don't forget that code, ROGUE15. And by the way, rigs and lures, they make really good stocking stuffers.
Yeah, they do. Rob's awesome. He's got some nice gear over there. And with the cutters too, the line cutters and all sorts of stuff, which also fits into a stocking. So if you're looking for some last minute stuff, get over there and check them out. All right, offshore. Reports of mahi, wahoo, and a few marlin coming in. Tuna bites been okay, but the last few weeks, Brian and I have been saying now's the time to get out there and stock up on bonita. Bonita are everywhere right now, and they're pretty close to the passes. Plus, they're fun to catch. I mean, they can be annoying when you're out there and you're targeting certain other fish, but if you're going out there just to throw some fish in the freezer, I like to use cut bonita for snapper fishing. I like to use it for all my offshore stuff. Belly works good, big chunks. You drop that down there, you're gonna be hooked up. Plus, it works great for sharks too. So I always like to have a couple laid up in the freezer. So get out there and get you some bonita. Lots of mingo snapper right now, which is amazing. It's crazy to see this late. So you'll be seeing that when we get into the scroll. We got some pictures. Tons of mingo snapper are being caught, and some large flounder also being picked up on the inshore wrecks as well. So offshore, there's a lot of stuff happening. You wouldn't think it's December right now, with the fish that are being caught, but there's stuff out there. Pick your weather window, go get you a Hilton subscription, target it, plan it out. Dylan kind of laid out the plan for you, and get out there and do some fishing.
We've only mentioned them 4 times. They should give us something. Come on, you want to sponsor the show. Come on.
We'll tag them in the in the videos,
the post show. I like it. Inshore, lots of sheepies getting caught, kayakers, boats sitting out on the pilings, playing that one game. Just remember, before you start scraping things and playing oysters, don't forget the regulations. Just be careful. Download the proper apps. Make sure you know what you're doing. But a lot of sheepshead are starting to roll through. The water temperature has not changed a ton, and if you guys look at last year's time versus now, our water is warmer right now. So kind of been funky, but we got a couple cold snaps coming up, so that's going to play out. Don't forget to stack up on fiddler crabs if you're going out there for those sheepies. They do eat other things. I don't know, considering I still haven't caught one.
I'm still confused on that one.
Which one?
On why fiddler crabs are a good sheephead bait. When
Jack,
fiddler crabs aren't
comment.
when they're not like actively swimming around out there. You're going to find fiddler crabs on rocks and marshes and stuff like that. I don't know why they like them so much.
It's that weird candy.
Sorry, tangent.
That's a fair tangent, because it goes against what we always talk about of match the hatch.
I know it's just something I just don't understand.
I agree with you. It's the worst.
Barnacles I could see.
Yes, barnacles. I get that idea. And I have seen them. People, I believe Sean and Jack put a video out where they did put a barnacle on a hook on a sweeper.
A little shrimp. Yeah. Little shrimp. I could see them eating shrimp.
Yeah.
Savage food.
Reds, you're still catching them, which is really weird, but you're still catching reds. So if you're out there for the bulls, you can still get them on the inshore side. If you're going into the flats and stuff, you can still play it right off the reeds. So rig weedless and go there, but you're not going to find them as much. Just for kind of think about the water temperature. Flounder, hey, they came back in season and they are getting caught. So get that happy little paddle tail out there. You guys know how I feel about those with flounder. I'm a big fan of using the fish bites, the Fight Club series. Love those. It's got all the scent in there and it's all throughout it. So big helper there. And I really enjoy that one.
Absolutely.
We got in the surf, sir.
Over the surf, man. It is December and limits of pompano are still being caught. That is nuts. Surf conditions are great. This north wind lays everything down. Light chop. Our buddy Justin Reed was out today. He said water was still a little stained, not super clear, but he was catching a lot of small pompano and nice bluefish. That's over there at Justin Reed Fishing. Go check his stuff out. But still a bunch of fish being caught between Panama City, Pensacola. Whiting bite is going to continue to heat up as we move into the next couple of weeks, especially with this cold snap coming. The whiting are going to start stacking up in the deep holes close to the beaches. So target there. My favorite thing to do is the runt rod. When we had Tony on, we talked about runt rod fishing and the craze. To me, that's the best way to get out there and target whiting. Redfish continue to be hitting the beaches as well. Bottom line is just get out there and fish. There were some nice redfish caught too. I know Larry Grossman, while I was gone, he was posting pictures of redfish being caught, and a lot of people out there catching reds from the beach right now. So,
well, now we're in trouble because Larry got a boat.
Yeah, I know. I saw that today. Congratulations, Larry. Yeah, you'll be
awesome. I mean, he's already good, but now he's going to be extra good. I'm going to be more jealous of him every day. But I'm so stoked for him with that setup. He's been doing great since he moved here, and I can't say enough good things about him. You were talking about with the surf. It was funny. Barry and I were on the phone today. We were kind of catching up a little bit.
Oh, Barry.
And he reminded me of something kind of funny when we were talking about, 'cause, it's not fun trying to dink cast your 12-foot rod.
Mhm.
And he's like, yeah, sometimes I've thrown it out. And I remember baseball throwing a friggin' Sputnik, like just yeeting it out there from the beach. It's a lot better than dink throwing it. At least I can control it. Yeah, that's where I wanted it. So,
Yep,
hey, if you don't have a runt rod and you still got a 12-footer, just, the old baseball throw, launch her on out there.
Absolutely.
All right, over to the piers. And the piers have been really weird. I mean, between Okaloosa, Destin, Navarre Pier, and Orange Beach, it's like, all right, I was expecting to see a ton of big catches. Like, yeah, the water's changed. No, weird sporadic catches, even for the 2 weeks that we've been off. Tuna, all of a sudden, goes down, but they're still there. So a couple here or there, very, very less. Bobo, big supply. Get out there with that. Now, well, I'll say this one after. Whiting, pompano, red drum, and a whole lot of octopus. So if you're out there dying to get some octopus to cook, they're catching them, and they've been catching them a lot down there on the Okaloosa Pier. So if you're hunting for that, that's a good place. One thing, if you are new to pier fishing, I know I kind of went on a tyrant before about the Octagon, but I kind of feel bad that I didn't say this. If you're going out pier fishing, have a plan. If hey, look, I want to go after tuna, that's fine. Great. Go to the Octagon, do your thing like I talked about. But if you'll ever see Mike and I fishing the pier, you're going to find us at the wave line. You're going to find us at the bar. You're not going to find us at the end. You're going to find us short, and we're going to be playing the reds, pompanos, the whiting, and the straight down drop for underneath. So if you're going to go to the pier, you have so many different zones. Have a plan, and that's going to make a huge difference in your day. So you have fun with it, and just remember, patience. Patience is key. But the piers are good, so have it at it. Get out there and have some fun. Lost a big tuna at the boat a couple days ago. No. Always hate it when Jack says he loses a fish between like him and Lawless. I don't know why. It always I feel bad, and I shouldn't because it's them. But I feel bad for him. Like, damn it, that was gonna be a good video.
Lonnie's saying, "Where I've been chasing the sheep and literally have only caught one keeper in 2 years."
So I don't have GPS. However, I have heard that they are not at Bob Sykes yet. They are still a little further up. So plan to go a little further up. I-10 bridge, I believe, I think I saw one or two. In Navarre, I think I saw a couple reports somewhere around the bridge. If I'm not mistaken, it was up by the bridge, or it might have been further up by the Air Force Base. It might have been up there. But all good stuff. Alex, what's up there, Jarhead? How are you, bud? Lonnie, that's where I got mine the other day. Oh, okay.
At Bob Sykes are up north at the I-10 area. A great show to watch if you haven't watched that one is the one we did with Jack Moran, where he actually goes into the migration, if you will, of the sheephead, and they really Bob Sykes. Okay, you can pick one of Bob Sykes. Because they're going to be moving down from the river systems and stuff and coming down, and they probably won't get thick in that area until February timeframe, when they're going to be thick in the Bob Sykes, Pickens Pier, those sort of areas as they get closer to the pass. It's going to be earlier in the next year.
Yeah. And Jack gave you a lot of really good information about how to fish it, how to rig it, how to plan it, how to move, how to drop. It's a delicate balance. They don't call them smooth criminals for nothing. They'll get your bait, but keep this in mind too. And I learned this the hard way, and going out with Mike in his boat really opened my eyes to Bob Sykes. There's a ton of different species that hang out in those pillars. I mean, there are, and it's not just pennies. I mean, we're talking a lot of different things. Spanish are always hanging out there. Big drum, red, black, sharks, flounder. There's tons of species there. So just be ready for that. Oh, Jack came in 3 miles, starting to get some sheepies. This cold front's gonna, that's a good call. I've used ivory soap to keep. You gotta be kidding me.
I might take Lonnie's trade on that one.
Oh, dude, if I get a good surgery, like a good scar, I already told Lonnie, I'm like, dude, if they do a good scar, we got to do a tattoo. And he's like, yes, let's do that.
That's awesome. So that's your report. Get out there and do some fishing. Fish are out there. again, it's always about just getting out and picking your windows.
I mean, that if that's true, I am extra butthurt. Extra butthurt.
Use ivory soap to catch them. It could look like a barnacle if you little shaving of it on a straight J hook. But all right, weather. What we got coming in here? Bob, also clear water.
Finesse. You must
finesse is the key. Whenever you're talking about sheephead fishing. Let's get here. Share screen. Weather.
Oh no, I don't want that. There you go.
What we got here? That's not what I want. What's McAfee testing? Whatever.
Sounds like we're both having the same problem. Like, I know that's not the website I wanted.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, here we go. Tonight it's going to get down into 40s, so it's going to get cold. Tomorrow night, high of 59, low of 35. North winds at 11, not too bad. 19% chance of rain. Is that in the morning or evening? Partly cloudy skies during the morning hours. Looks like it gets worse in the evening. Is that snow too? What is that? Rain and snow, wintry mix coming in tomorrow night.
It's going to be a weird one that they're even saying that who was it? Somebody close to the water could theoretically get snow.
Interesting. Was it last year or the year before it snowed in Fort Walton? There was a state trooper that took the video there.
That was last year.
Like 2 a.m. or whatever. It was snowing in the Lowe's parking lot. Anyway, Sunday looks good. Sunny, winds at 11. Monday, our lows are getting down. This is the end of the week that we're looking in the 20s. Friday, the 23rd, a high of 37. Low at whew.
Hold on, let me get that. Hold on. We got the banners in the way. Let me get them out of there.
I'll do it.
All right, there you go. I got it.
No, you're good, dude. Yeah, where was that? Oh, next Friday, low at 30 or high of 37, low at 24 with a northwest wind at 17.
Boy, we're gonna have a fun report that day.
Yeah.
So if you haven't drained your sprinkler system, now's the time to get those pumps drained.
If you ever winterize your boat, but I haven't done that in like the 17 years I've been here, so
you probably don't even need to.
Nah.
Click my button. There we go. There's that button.
Weather, that's right.
All right, so the marker is in between Destin and our area, so it kind of fits right in the middle of the whole ground here. Now, a couple things like I've always said with windy, pay attention to the clockwise happiness, right? Always the fun. Well, I have my notes, but I guess I'm just gonna have to live narrate it here. All right, so the wind is gonna play a really fun game on us here. This is tomorrow at 8 a.m. running 8 knots off to the north. Now, mind you, this thing is going to be the problem. So Saturday evening, 9 knots, still running out of the north. It's great. Sunday, yeah, this is where it gets fun. So 13 knots running direct north. So if you want to get it, gun it out there, that's going to be the day to have at it. Into the evening. Oh, it did change. That was where it was actually supposed to bump up to 20. Monday, and here's the swap. So Monday running into the east wind, and it's going to continue. As you can see, we got this little swirler starting to move over, and that's going to actually come affect us very quickly into the week. I believe it's Tuesday or Wednesday. So you got Tuesday, you got winds. There it is, 23 knots. Come on, show me the big number. You had a really good one. I really enjoyed watching that. Oh, guess it's not going to come up. I did see a 30 and 40 knot gusts. So yeah, I was like, ooh, that's not a good time. So kind of calms down there throughout that piece. But once we move into Thursday and Friday, as you can see, it's still running. Looks like we're still up. There's Wednesday. There's Thursday. Moving here into waves. Wave period has kind of changed up a smidge, not a lot, but we are going to see later on in that day is there. All right. There we go. Now we are here. Saturday, 1 footers right offshore. Again, pay attention to the colors. You know, if I had another app like Hilton, I'd probably have a lot better report.
Just overlay all that.
I could just drop it all in one, but I don't have that yet. So 2 footers running in there on Sunday, still good. But keep in mind this period, these 3 seconds, that's 3 seconds over on underlapping there. So 1 foot, and this report has changed again. All right, I can live with that. Monday I think it was when one day it jumped up to 6 footers. I saw 6 and 8 closer in. I can't see it. So there you go. 4 footers at 4 pieces. A little bit more. Give me a little bit more. Just a little bit more. All right. 5 footers. There's that cell. So that's Tuesday and then into Wednesday. So we're going to have a lot of nasty mixture going on here in our area. So just be prepared for that for this. Not, with Mike told you with the temperatures, that's going to play into that one. So it's going to be a little challenging fishing, but hey, it's always going to be all right. So come on out. Do I want to come back to Roswell and fish for catfish this summer? I mean, I loved Roswell. Don't get me wrong. I actually had a lot of fun when I went to Roswell. I didn't think I would, but I really did. But hey, I might be down for that. Shoot me a message later. What's tech? Yeah,
Cliff, you coming back here, buddy?
Oh, don't you tease me.
Where are you fishing, Cliff? Let's find out.
It'd be fun to see Cliff. Actually, Cliff should be good. I don't remember if he said he was coming back.
I don't know.
Oh, and there's your mic changing the sound yet again.
It did, didn't it? It just jumped up for no reason.
Hey, he is coming home. Cool. I'll have to find a way to catch up with you.
Heck yeah. I haven't seen Cliff in a while.
The weather's crap, but hey, it is what it is. What did I put here? Tuesday was 20 to 30 mile an hour. Waves were 2 to 8 feet, and that was the 8-footers that I saw. So yeah. All right. So let's get into the fun part. And everybody, don't forget, tag us. Hashtag, also known as a pound sign. And a fishing report. Fire them over to us. We always love seeing your stuff. The Panhandle Scroll is being brought to you by Waterland Sunglasses. Whether you're sight casting a shade shoreline, fishing the open flats, or trolling the wide open ocean, Waterlands has your eyes covered for every application. You can use code SSF anytime to save 15% on your purchase. Go check them out at waterlandco.com. Nice. Show me what you got. Show me that scroll.
I only got two.
Oh, I got a good one. I got you covered.
Well, that's not what I wanted to share.
That's weather. We're already sad there.
I already did that one. Stop sharing that one. StreamYard. Share. Again, one day we'll have an engineer that keeps us all straight.
Rich. We're gonna be rich.
I know. All right, so this one, I know it's been passed around in a couple of different groups, but the Wildlife Sanctuary in Northwest Florida is in desperate need of fish and for their birds of prey. So the pelicans, the gulls, which aren't birds of prey, but they're eagles, and stuff that they have in there. They're looking for cigar minnows, bait fish, mullet, trout. Can they use frozen fish? Absolutely yes, especially this time of year. So if you got stuff in your freezer that you want to go donate, clean it out, whatever you got, they'll be happy to take it so they can keep their flying friends fed. So good cause. They're always about twice, maybe 3 times a year. We see them put a post out on that. So it's good stuff to go drop off.
Cliff had a good comment. Don't eat catfish. Birds of prey do.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. You can load up on catfish and take them down there. When I said the mingoes were biting, that is a lot of mingoes right there. Plus some scamp. 35 red snapper successfully released. Right now, not all the fish made it to, but I mean, look at that. There's some nice. That's a good haul right there. I would not be sad to come back with a box like that.
Mingo's so good. I love mingo.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I think that was it. The last one. I only had 2. I didn't have a whole lot this time. If you want to learn how to make sriracha chicken wings, go check out Chris Cho's. I have a lot of his recipes videos I saved. There's some good things. He's got some awesome Korean food. Anyway, I digress.
I love that stuff.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, what you got?
Oh, I forgot to click the button. That's all right. Here we go. All right, we're gonna go further back. Come on,
look at you.
Come on. Well, I mean, you were on a cruise, and I had nothing to do but sit on my butt and scroll Facebook. What else am I gonna do? Why is that in here? All right, that's a little further back than I thought it was, but that was a nice red, as you can see. A little paddle tail action going on here in the Average Joe Gulf Fishing. I'm a big fan of those groups. This one's an older too, but Emerald Coast Kayakers, you guys know I'm always in there. Rizzo is finally back in the game.
Rizzo.
And that is not a tiny sheep, but I recognize this. No, I don't actually. It's not what I thought it was when I first looked at it. But yeah, Rizzo's been out there getting after it, but he's been catching some sheepies, so it's good to see him back in the game.
I'm going to say 331 bridge.
Wouldn't shock me.
Just a good guess.
And she finally is back.
Yes, she is.
Oh, and she got out and she finally got a chance to go fishing. So I'm so happy for her. But
That looks so
Cheyenne
delicious.
making our mouths water as always. Oh,
Mhm.
so much good food.
Soaked it in milk, huh?
Yeah, I was surprised by
Temporize it a
that.
little bit. Huh.
I still haven't gotten into the buttermilk thing. I mean, I might eventually. Roasted garlic. I mean, look at that cream sauce, man. It just screams. You just go ahead and drink it.
Yeah. Put it
Butter,
on
wine, and
thermos.
white vinegar. Yeah. I mean, it's a great mixture. Gets it all panned up, and voila, the
Voila.
deliciousness.
It's like, mwah.
Oh, I guess
Mythical.
I don't need to
Yeah.
reopen the
Yeah.
beautifulness of that, but that was badass. So I am super happy for him. And some other guy was out there.
Yeah.
Well,
Ryan and those guys.
the old cast and assassin getting out and getting after it too. So good group got out there, and like Dylan was saying, there was a bunch of good fish caught on that trip. So here's Ryan again, going out with the slow pitching. It is still working. So catch and cook out in Alabama side, slow pitch jigging. I can't remember what gram he said that one was, but if you want to learn slow pitch jigging, go to the slow pitch jigging group and join up. Lots of really, really good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to bring this one up, and
it's the bird of prey one.
It's the bird of prey geniusness.
Yeah.
So quick short run, time to walk the beach, whiting, pompano, quarter ounce on the sheephead swing, and he just put a little fish bite on it, and it gets the job done. So
a little crappie jig thing there.
Yep. And there's a guy, I mean, we've seen, oh God, I can't remember his name. Oh, well, I'm going to butcher it anyway. But, when you and I've gone fishing down by Brick House, he was always there. And, just crushing. We're out there fishing, and he's taking home a cooler of whiting, and we're staring at him like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But, he's using something like this. He's just dropping a hook out, a little piece of shrimp, and he's crushing it. So this little thing right here is going to do great for you on the short cast. You don't need to get heavy. Like you said, quarter ounce. Take your 7-footer out there and just throw it short. Get after it there.
Have fun.
Christmas
stuff is awesome.
It really is, and I feel bad that I hadn't seen his stuff until today. But Alabama Burning, that's some really, really cool artwork right there.
Yeah, that's nice. Oh, I got trout.
But again, this was a 4-footer at 385. If you got questions, reach out to him. Yeah. And obviously, he is hand painting these, so
awesome.
That is his time in there, and he's doing a great job. Good work with it. This guy, load. Sean does not have a shortage of the deliciousness.
He's got the same little hooker thing that Jack does.
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, I think they shop in the same place.
Yeah. I saw him at Academy. Oh, no.
But he was, it was kind of funny. He was fishing out of Nigeria. I don't know how he marked himself out there. That was the first thing I saw. I was like, what the hell? What are you doing out there? So he's been
cloned.
It wouldn't shock me nowadays. And Jack getting out there with his on December 6th. Got a nice one. Couldn't tell you where he is. I mean, gosh, him in that indescript background. Damn it, Jack. Yeah. Sometimes you need to have some fun. The old Salt Strong group. I mean,
I get a new boat for Christmas.
Just perfect, man. I mean, getting the blow-ups in there like that.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty cool. So I thought that was kind of a nice little add into the week. Oh, that was the video. I didn't think I saved the video. I'm sorry, Jack. I guess I'm on a sheep's head kick here. And then another set, Brock crushing it out in his area. So Brock's going to have a lot of stuff. If you're not following him already, you should definitely be taking a look at that.
He's got a new YouTube channel starting up. Pompano Brock.
Well, apparently I need to fix that. I didn't know he had that. Thought I liked it. There you go. Brock's got a lot of stuff. He'll actually be on my podcast here in the next couple months.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Once I get that done. And then my buddy Justin went out and had himself a day. Got himself some little pompies. Little small stuff. His little secret weapon bead. I know what you're up to. Caught a couple blues, but the blues were getting smaller, which is kind of a surprise. But as you can see, that blue hit the set rig. He wasn't throwing a lure for it. So they are definitely hungry. Get out there and get after them. So that's my scroll.
Nice. It's a decent little scroll tonight.
Thank you.
I didn't have much.
You
gotta
were
get back
kind
into
of
the swing
on a
of things.
vacation, or you were enjoying yourself and spending time
It
with
was
your
nice.
wife. I mean,
It was fun. Can't wait to do it again. Get back out there.
well, you're going out tomorrow. You said.
I like the Caribbean. It's a nice area. I'd be in trouble if I lived further south in Florida, where we could take advantage of these deals where you can just, you can get some really good cruise deals last minute setups, but you gotta be ready to go.
Well, I mean, the drive is
You know
only
what I mean?
what, 8 hours? Yeah, a 10-hour
Out
drive.
of Fort Lauderdale. That's where we would go
Oh,
out.
that's right. You went further south.
Yeah.
But it was really stupid for me because and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. When I was on the Disney cruise, looking out on the veranda, I was looking out at the water. We were at Nassau at the time. I was like, nah, their water looks like that. Whatever. It's like what?
We had the exact conversation. We were walking down the pier in, I think it's St. Kitts when we were there, and the water was, it looked like walking on the Var Pier. You know what I mean? and people are oohing and ahhing over it. We are so spoiled living in this area. We're so lucky to live in this area, for one thing. You know what I mean? With the fishery and then the water, and it's just beautiful. And we get there and we're like, seen it. We got the same thing at home. I know, blue water, green water, or whatever. You know what I mean?
It's like they look at you like you're a pretentious ass. They're like, exactly. It must be nice. Like, sorry, it's North Florida. This is how we have it up here.
We have more fun staying on the ship when everyone gets off into port. There's only like one port we really wanted to get off on, and then when we stopped, we laugh about it. We stopped in Puerto Rico, San Juan. Which is cool. You came in, they had the old fort there, so that was cool to see as you come around. But then we get there and we're like, here's my mic again. We're like, we need to run to a Walgreens or a CVS. And we look and directly off the port pier, there's like a Walgreens sitting right there. So our whole Puerto Rican trip, we went to Walgreens and CVS, and then we went back to the boat.
How very American of you, sir.
I know, right? Wearing my USA t-shirt. I did get some, we joked we got some Puerto Rican Altoids. So, that was cool. They taste the same. There's no difference.
Yeah. It's really horrible. I can't say much. We pulled into Puerto Vallarta, and as soon as right off the bat was Walmart, and you're like, I can go to Walmart.
Let's go see
today.
what it's like.
Wait, why do I need to go to Walmart? I'm on a freaking cruise.
Exactly. St. Kitts was cool though. They had the all the rums that are the shipwreck rum that Mark introduced us to, and everything. It's bottled and made there in St. Kitts. And we bought some other stuff. Some stuff that's made with hibiscus. Because I could get shipwreck here. There's things alcohol that I wanted that I couldn't get back here in the States. And then there was one good find that I happened to stumble across. So I picked up a bottle of Blanton's while I was down there. So
I saw. So begins the journry of those letters for you.
Yeah. I started with B, so make it easy.
Oh, you poor soul.
At least with the start, but maybe that'll be my thing. I'm just kidding. They had like everything you could think of. Down there. So it was tax free and duty free or whatever. So it all works out.
I like your new shirt, by the way.
Oh yeah, the Shred Fan. Thanks, man. They're one of our sponsors for Smitty's there. So I like their apparel. I like their Prime One camo that they use and everything. It's good stuff. So and
that's one of the new ones, right?
And an Air Force veteran. I think it's an ammo troop who started it out in Louisiana. Shred Fin. So good stuff. They got a lot of good deals going right now too for Christmas deals.
Did he change up? It looks like he changed it up because we were talking about it before. He used to have the performance fit, right?
Oh no, that's hog fin.
That's hog fin. Okay. Yeah. Well, I like the camo on that, and I do like the flag on the arm. So I like your shirt
on both sides, and then the back's got the flag and everything. So it's all flagged out.
Well, you have a good night too, Surf Hippie. We're going to close this up because Mike and I, you guys know how we are. We will end up talking for like 2 hours. Stuff. We haven't talked much in the last couple of weeks, so
no, it's been silent this week. Like today was the first day we were going back and forth on stuff. But we appreciate everybody sticking around and watching and our stuff back. We don't know what the show is going to be like next week. We don't even have anybody lined up. Could just be Brian and I flapping our jibs again. RC boats, vroom vroom. If I missed it,
Oh, speaking of RC boats, if you guys have been wanting to get one, he just got them in. So if you wanted to do an order, container. I think he has some left. But if you were looking for it, waiting, yeah, he's got them. So reach out to us if you need the information for that. And rcfishingsurfer.com.
Yeah,
you can get that there. So,
yep.
What else you got here? I think that's
it, man.
That's that.
We're done.
That's that. Yeah,
we're done till next week.
All right.
Get out there and do some fishing.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Stay out of trouble. Whoa, don't bump my mic. My bad.
There. All right, folks. Here comes the outro. Later.